Welcome to episode 20 of the Sweet Cruise Test. Hi, I'm Linz, as I was in Hello, and today we're talking best and worst cruise lines for first-time cruisers. But first, a little information.
Did you think of this week's mood music? The silence says 1,000 words. Did you not? Were you not impressed this week?
No, I was not impressed.
Okay, the change.
I just had 3 letters going on.
What were the 3 letters? Okay, well, the search for the perfect mood music continues. Let's get on to the topic. This week, as you said, we're talking about which are the best and worst cruises for first-time cruisers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's very subjective because whilst we're going to put people in demographics of couples and families, etc., what everyone wants is slightly different out of the cruise. But we're going to take our take.
Okay.
Well, it's all the take we've got, so it has to be that.
Well, that's the roses. That's something else.
Shall we start off with what's the best cruise line for families? That's how we started out cruising.
Yeah, we can do. I'm just thinking. You sprung this subject matter on me.
Yeah, you've had no notice of this whatsoever.
No.
So you've got less notice than you normally get of the news stories and the confessions.
Oh, yeah, I'm going from work and you made me do this.
So I start off then with what I think is the best one for families. So families, generally speaking, you're going to have a child or a couple of children or however many with you, and you're going to want to keep them entertained, and you're going to want to be able to have some time for yourself, wherever possible.
Yes.
So for me, when we started out cruising, the first one we ever did was Royal Caribbean.
It was, but it was Royal Caribbean when it was good price to book Royal Caribbean. And this is what worries.
Well, I think anything when you're looking at in terms of for families, it's going to be quite expensive these days. We did the podcast recently on whether it was still good value for money.
Yeah.
Now, we came out of the podcast saying, yeah, it is, because all holidays have gone up in price.
Well, yes, that's true.
So I'm not going to dwell too much on the cost element when we're talking about this, but more from our own perspective, when we went on, we wanted somewhere that had kids clubs that went everything from sort of babies up to 17, 18-year-old.
Yeah.
You're not really calling them kids at that point, teens clubs. But then it had some nice restaurants and bars and places that we could go when we want.
Yeah.
So the first one for me would definitely be Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, they had like a 1 a.m. curfew.
What, for the children getting picked up?
And being back in the room, yes.
Yeah, which is still very late.
It's so late.
Yeah, at the time when we first went on it, I think I was something about 8. So
He was very small, but he suddenly became a knight.
he did. Before that, we were putting him into bed at sort of 8 o'clock-ish.
And he was small.
Maybe 9. And for them to then say they can stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock was late.
It was. So, yeah, the fact that they can go there for a long time. But I think when you look at the range of activities, certainly when, I'm talking about Royal Caribbean in particular, I'm sure we'll touch on a couple of other cruise lines. But Royal Caribbean, you've got everything from sort of the rock climbing, as well as the kids clubs. You've got the rock climbing, you've got the arcades, you've got the wave machines, and then depending on which ship you go on then, within the range, because obviously massive range of cruise lines for Royal Caribbean, cruise ships, Royal Caribbean. You've got the massive slides that go from the top to the bottom. You've got zip lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got water parks that are, as big as what you see on land on some of the ships, like an Icon, with 5, 6 massive slides on there.
Yeah, I mean, Royal Caribbean is a good one.
What would be your choice if not Royal Caribbean as best for families?
I think it depends on children. I really do, because our son was ironic. Well, some children are more studious. Well, he was studious, but you know what I mean. He he always wanted to be doing something.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and they weren't generally hanging around with us.
No, he's not a jigsaw person.
No. And I have to say, while he was in the kids' clubs and doing all the activities and everything else that they did, we got to have some really nice meals on there. They have some fantastic restaurants.
Yeah.
We got to go to the bar.
Oh, they loved it. And they all went to dinner one night as well, if you remember, on the gala night. I don't know if they still do this. They took them all, and they all had a gala dinner together.
They did, yeah.
So you can...
I wonder if they're still doing that.
Oh, no, but he loved that, getting dressed up and then leaving us and going...
If you've been on Royal Caribbean recently as a family and your kids got to go to the gala dinner with the rest of the kids, let us know, because I do remember, I'd completely forgot about that, but I remember thinking what a brilliant idea.
Yeah, no, they loved it. They loved it. They got to the theatre and shows. Yeah.
So I chuck in what I think is the second most obvious one for families.
You're going to say this?
I'm going to say this.
It is. It's very good. He loved it. And we loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm very price oriented.
Yeah, I think for this particular one, you need to just not forget about, forget about price to a degree.
Can you write that down and give me
No.
on the slip?
No, I can't, just for this one podcast.
Right. Oh, one night.
I will write down for episode 20, you do not need to think about price.
I want you to you do not need to think about price.
Well, it's on here now. There's one message. But I think if you don't think about
it,
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it, thank you.
Disney is what you think about when you think about families. Not just on a cruise ship, but you think about it. So I've got a Disney World and Disneyland and the rest of the parks around the world. Yeah, it's so interlinked as a family one on there. But for me, when we first...
Yes.
And that was on one of the original 2 Disney ships, there wasn't a lot of dedicated adult-only space.
And there was the restaurants.
There was a restaurant at that point.
It wasn't Remy, it was something else, wasn't it?
I can't remember what it was at the point that we went on it. You know, we're going back to 2010-ish, somewhere around about then. Now the newer Disney ships and the older ones that have had a refresh as well.
We've got the adults only area.
Yeah. And that makes a big difference for it being a viable, proper family one where you get a lot of time. You're going to get more time, even so, on Disney for the kids than for adults compared to Royal Caribbean, which is balanced equally, I feel.
Can we also touch on that it's great for, when we're talking about families, to, if you like to go on a multi-generational family holiday, if you like to go on holiday with brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and make a big deal of it, and have a big family holiday.
Would you say this is better for that than Royal Caribbean?
Well, I think good as
I
think it, but people forget because you don't all have to stay. If you go to, for example, a hotel, you all want to stay at a hotel, it's pretty much all the same price for everybody. Whereas on the cruise ship, you can all decide to have a different room. So somebody could be in an inside room, somebody could be in an ocean view, somebody could be in a balcony, and you can then fit it to your family.
Yeah, it fits to a wider budget. When you, I mean, it's quite anything.
You might need 2 rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, as your kids get a little bit older, when they're in the teens, you're probably not going to be wanting to be sharing 4 people in a room with 2 late teens.
Well, you might want an interconnecting or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you start pricing. I'm very price orientated. You told me not to be, but I'm taking with me on from this podcast. I've seen a lovely, lovely dress.
And that's not a cruise.
No.
Was it for a cruise?
It's for multi-purpose dress.
Any other cruise lines that you would put in that same level as Royal Caribbean and Disney as best for first-timers? And why did we pick both of those ones for first-timers?
Okay, Royal Caribbean, I picked it because it was our first cruise, but we got it on a bargain, and that's maybe something you'd want to try and sign up to the newsletter and see if there's a deal. But really late if you can.
I don't think you can really go wrong with Royal Caribbean that much. as a first-time cruise for a family.
No. Depends where it's going on as well, because they've got all the flags and all that nightmare. But yeah, like that, and then Disney again, nice. In respect of other cruise lines, don't know what the deal is with P&O, but when we go out, when we've gone on P&O and we've got families, they seem to come to the bars more than they do on the American ships. Do you agree? Do you think that's just UK culture?
I think certainly when you come out of the UK, because if you look at going on, for instance, MSC, we saw that same thing, that the bars would be as full of children as adults.
Well, there was a lot of children.
Because I don't a lot of child catchment.
That's how I say it.
Children?
Children.
Especially if they're anywhere near a bar.
Yes. Give me a net.
Yeah,
There's a child that was actually I'm going to shut up.
I think it is that you do see it much more in sort of the UK European culture of them being in those environments, and that I recall seeing when we've been on the American lines or going out of America. I might be wrong, but I don't recall.
No, I think you just see it when you're on the UK ships. You just it's a thing. Yeah.
Shall we come on to the worst type of cruise for families? And then we'll cover a couple separate.
It depends on your children. I think it really depends on your children. Some might like to hang out in a library. You could have a Lisa Simpson.
I would say statistically, most children, if you could have a Lisa Simpson who likes to go to the opera type stuff like you would get on MSC.
Simpson would love Cunard.
But you see, Cunard would be right at the top of my list of not great for families.
Or police.
So apart from, if you've got a very specific family that likes all the stuff on Cunard, then you will like it. But I would say, I remember the first time that we went on Queen Elizabeth and we walked past the children's centre, and it was based with this caged in the zoo area.
But I also remember there was a very, very well-behaved child in the veranda restaurant, and you wouldn't know that they were there. They were very well-behaved.
Yeah, but
they're an old.
But would you still say that it's a good first-time cruise? So if it's like your 20th cruise and your kids are not used to being on a cruise, I think that's a little bit different. I'm not convinced that Cunard is a good one for...
You've got finger painting. We've got all sorts of activities. For children.
I feel you're just taking the opposite. So I
would to get their outfits on. Some children.
So which would you say is the worst cruise line for families for a first-time cruise? Silence.
Well, you know your children. I don't know. I feel like it depends on your children. I don't know. In respect of worst, I'm going to say...
Worst don't mean it's a bad cruise. It just means it's not the right one for the first time.
Some children, yes, they do. I'm going to say Fred Olsen.
Why?
Ken went on Fred Olsen, and then there was children. And he did not enjoy it. So I don't think he had a great time with them, and they didn't have a great time.
You see, we've not been on Fred Olsen, so it's a little bit hard for me to say for sure. It's not one that I would think of. If someone asked me, what should be the first cruise line we go on as a family, Fred Olsen would probably be at the lower end of that. One, Cunard would be right at the bottom. So I think Cunard is, even to certain adult-only cruisers, it's still, there's a stigma attached to it in terms of that formality,
I think so.
that perceived formality in some degrees. But I think at that bottom end of it, it's there. Now, for me, the worst one, if not Cunard, isn't actually a single.
Right.
But it's a range of any of the sort of ultra luxury ones.
It depends on the and
It does, but
brought up with ultra luxury.
no, but you see, the reason that I'm saying that is some of them, like Viking ones, for instance,
I know.
all that, but other ones like Regent, Silver Seas, Oceanic, they do let children on, but they have so little for them during the day.
Yeah, but it's not right though. You could have a device that keep you happy.
Well, yeah, if your kids are going to be happy just on sort of an iPad or a Nintendo Switch or something all the time, then fine.
By the pool.
But yeah, I would say that those ones have the least facilities for children and are more geared up for sort of older families. Well, if you got an older kids like 18 upwards, I think those ones are fine. I think it's just when they're young, because kids of the younger age tend to, generally speaking, need stimulating more.
You know, you can, entertain your children. You know how they like to be entertained. They might love cheese.
I'm feeling that some of this is just your own personal.
I love cheese.
It's the love cheese and just going. But you're not going to see water slides on those songs.
We just taken our small son and said you can eat any cheese.
Well, he'd have been happy, but at the same time, there'd have been no other kids on there, and I'm fairly sure eventually they'd gone, I'm a bit bored.
I love this.
Shall we move on to couples?
Okay.
Best cruise line for couples.
Yeah.
Do you want to just stick a bit louder? Yeah. It's a fairly easy one for us. Because if it's your first time cruising, you will have some preconceptions of what you think cruising is.
Mm-hmm.
As a couple, that's going to shatter all those preconceptions. Yeah, it's not sort of what you think of it being sort of old or sort of boring or anything else. Yeah, it is a really fun cruise line. And I think for first-time couples, obviously it can't be families because it's adults only and you're being too.
Well, you can be adult, but you can have older children.
You can have older children. I think if you've got children in the 20s, that's a great one for them to come along to. You don't see many young people on Virgin. And by that, I mean probably 24, younger.
We've not been during, like,
the main holidays.
Yeah, because whether you're at uni or...
Oh, we've been in August before. We've just been...
in a minute.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any really young people on that. So what do you think it is, other than what I've said, what is it that makes Virgin so good for first-timers?
You don't, you can take, you don't have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, you can take just your clothes.
Yeah.
So there's none of that, I'm going to have to take a seat.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, you always want to take dress shoes for one night. And your shoes are big and they are heavy, so if we're flying, it's always a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't got any of that. It's just, so people do tend to dress up a lot in Virgin, but not in a sort of ball gown and tuxedo way.
In an outlet.
Yeah, if you were going out somewhere fancy.
Like Spark.
Yeah.
You're going
There's a lot of spark. There's probably more sparkles on a Virgin cruise than any other cruise line.
Love it.
People love a bit of glitter on there, don't
they? Do? In fact, that reminds me.
Look in a sequin.
I need you to get my toenails for upcoming things.
Okay.
Because that's, yeah.
I will paint your toenails for you.
Thank you. I found the colour that, sorry.
For this random segue to it, because when we went on Virgin, I painted your toenails and they lasted perfectly, didn't they?
You always do a good job.
I did. Yeah. Secret skill. Okay. Any other one that you would say is a really good one for first-time couples? I've got another one if you haven't.
All right.
Princess.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because it's not that it's a family cruise. I think he's encouraging families to go. And you will get more children on there than you will on Virgin, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's that middle ground along with someone sort of celebrity where for a first time on there, you're not going to feel intimidated by the whole thing, if that's the right word.
You'll need some outfits, you'll need some more form.
Yeah.
Depending on...
But still less formal than, say, Cunard.
Less formal, but still something snazzy. That saying that depends on itinerary. But I think it's very good. I'd also say that, unlike Celebrity, I think the pricing is more good. It's not scary when
You can get some good deals on things.
if you add in all the. I mean, we saw what's it, the heavy duty on food, right? First time, but there was a transatlantic that was like 16 nights, fully loaded, £1,600 a piece.
I mean, that's going to bring me on to something else in a second, which is what's the perfect length for a first time one. But if we just finish off on Princess first of all,
Yeah.
One of the other advantages for first timers on Princess, when it's first time cruise, you're not sure how much you need a budget.
No.
Princess do have their Princess Premium and Princess Plus package.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people love them, some people don't. We think they're fantastic. They are the best value ones that's out.
We love it.
As far as we are. I think when you're going on your first cruise, that one just ticks a lot of boxes in terms of you don't have to worry about budget, you're not thinking about it too much. So for me, and Virgin's the same, that there's no specialty dining.
No, I also think if you are looking at cruise and you are a solo traveller, signing up to be when then Virgin release their cruises would be a good thing because they have solo rooms and solo rates. It's not the stupid Celebrity pricing where it's double and then some.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah. And I was debating talking about the solo element of it. We've no experience with it.
Oh, but
So I didn't feel that we really could do
we
it.
can talk about price.
You can, and some of them are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, charging 200%.
Not that price ever matters to me.
Never matters to you. So, which would you say is...
I'm keeping that. I'm just telling you, I'm keeping.
What would you say is worst for couples then? For first-time couples? So you got Best being Princess and Virgin.
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah,
if
for sure.
It's an anniversary or something like that, or a special milestone birthday, then you'll be okay on Cunard because you're geared up mentally for that type of.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't put Cunard.
No. Maybe MSC might be a little bit too. Unless you're going in yacht club.
Well, I'm going to sort of divide that. If you're going in yacht club, no problem whatsoever. If you're going into MSC Bella, so their entry into MSC cruising, that would probably be near the bottom of my recommendation for first timers because you're going to see it cruising at its very busiest and most cramped.
Yeah.
And that's not going to give you a good impression of what cruising is.
No.
So I would definitely say MSC, not yacht club.
But
if you're in yacht club, you're not going to have any issue whatsoever. And I think yacht club's another one which is a great first time, but it's expensive.
It has to be for a milestone.
Yeah, if you're going on an anniversary or you just married or anything, then going in some fun yacht club would be a great.
You mean funny?
Or funny penny. Which others would you say are at the sort of bottom end of what you wouldn't recommend?
For a couple.
Yeah, first time couple. For me, it'd be one that we just put in the top one for families, which would be Disney. Now, if you're a Disney fanatic and you love Disney, then that's the perfect first time. Yeah, I'd say it's a subjective discussion. But if you're on there as a couple and you're not a Disney fanatic, well, I would question why you're looking at the Disney one. Just one, very expensive. And pro rata, you're going to have more children on that than any other cruise.
Yeah.
And the entertainment is geared up for children.
Yeah.
They have some amazing Broadway shows, but they are geared up for children. The movies are all Disney stuff. So are you with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll finish off with perfect length for that first cruise. Our first cruise was 4 nights.
That was not enough.
Yeah. I think 3 or 4 night ones are not enough to get a proper feel of it because by the time you get on and get used to it, you I forget.
Yeah.
So I would say probably 7 nights is.
But make sure the itinerary is for you.
Yeah.
Maybe don't just get on the cruise. Make sure that where you're going, you want to get on.
Yeah, so you're not just on the ship.
Yes.
Full one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the obvious first time cruises for anyone. Going pretty much anywhere around the Med, the Caribbean. Coming out of the UK. Yeah, pretty much any direction that they end up in that direction for 7 nights. So Northern Europe, the fjords, stuff. Depending on what you want out of the cruise. But 7 nights for me seems like that. Perfect.
You might be a single, but fjords is still beautiful. That's still honest.
Fjords is stunning.
Yeah, I'm taking from this. I can now spend whatever I want when I want.
You can take that from us. We'll continue the discussion after the podcast finishes, if you like.
Money is
no object.
I'm just
okay. Would you like a cruise confession?
Oh, go on.
So this one is from Richard, real name, just not the surname.
Okay.
And this one is called The Karaoke Catastrophe.
Okay.
Linzi Mark, I come before you humbled and ashamed. The karaoke bar, a place where dreams are made and voices are, well, let's just say tested, became the stage for my cruise confession and my ultimate downfall.
Okay.
It was the penultimate night of the cruise and the karaoke bar was
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere was electric, fueled by a potent mix of vacation excitement and questionable cocktails. We've been there. We've been at those karaoke bars with that mix.
Potent mix.
Yeah. My newfound cruise buddies, a group of retirees with a surprising thirst for adventure, egged me on. Sing, 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 they chanted. The voices growing louder with each passing round of cocktails.
Okay.
Emboldened by their encouragement and the aforementioned questionable cocktails, I took to the stage.
Yeah.
My song of choice, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh.
In retrospect, perhaps Twinkle Twinkle Little Star would have been more appropriate. The opening chords struck, and I launched into the song with the confidence of a seasoned rock star. However, my voice, normally passable in the shower, betrayed me. High notes were met with strangled squawks. Low notes descended into guttural growls. And the operatic section, well, let's just say it resembled a dying walrus.
Oh, what?
The crowd, initially supported, began to dwindle. Some politely excused themselves while others openly cringed. By the time I reached the climactic guitar solo, I was virtually alone in the bar. Bathed in the harsh judgment of a disco ball. Cruise cast crew.
To be bathed in
the harsh judgment of a disco.
You think I probably.
I'm fairly sure that you have.
So many balls.
Cruise cast crew. I apologise from the depths of my soul for the vocal assault I inflicted upon my fellow passengers. I vow to never again subject innocent ears to my tone-deaf warbling. From now on, my karaoke contributions will be limited to enthusiastic clapping and off-key humming from the safety of my table. Please forgive my sins and spare me from a lifetime of karaoke-induced nightmares. We've touched on Virgin already in this one, and one of the things I love on Virgin is that they have those private karaoke booths. They still have public karaoke sessions. They're not soundproof, but you can't see anyone drinking.
No.
There's no harsh disco bottom. You can't see the judgment. You could probably hear it if you're listening carefully. So, what do you think? Are we going to allow them to carry on with their seat pass on the basis that they just sit humming at the table and drinking their cocktails?
Mm-hmm.
So it feels a harsh thing to say that they should get off of it.
Oh, no, they're not.
We've heard some truly dreadful karaoke. We've had some amazing karaoke.
Yeah, but that's what karaoke's for.
It is. I dislike karaoke more when everyone who gets up is like near professional singer. And then when you get someone get up who's like Vic Reeves' pub singer, then you're like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for the last half hour. Forgiven. Perfect. Thank you very much for that cruise confession, Richard. And if you've got a cruise confession, please just send them along to our email. News story number 1.
Okay, let's whiz through these this morning.
Disney Adventure, its new ship, has got new home music. Now, we do like Disney home music. A top tip for it is not to stand at the front under the organ when they're playing. I've seen several people do that and get nearly deaf.
Yeah,
Now, the original 2 ships, when they came out when we went, only had one song, which was When You Wish Upon a Star.
I could have told
All of the more recent ones,
you. I've got
a range of them.
Yes.
But the new one has got some new tunes.
Okay.
Which I'll tell you what they are. So the first one is Grim Grinning Ghosts from Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Now you might think, why? But it's got Haunted Mansion parlour on board it.
Okay, I'll take that.
Next up, Whole New World from Aladdin. And that's because the Grand Hall is Aladdin themed into it. And it also has Remember Me from Coco.
Oh.
It's traumatizing, which ties into the new theatrical dining experience at Plaza de Coco.
Oh, lovely.
Is there any you would have liked to have seen on there? So is there another Disney thing?
Mama Joe's Face.
Mama Plus Fest. And would that be into the Mama No Des? But
No, Des.
No Des. Okay. News story number 2. The MSC cruise loyalty program, the Voyager, we are at Diamond status, which is the
match
level.
Yeah.
They do the match, and we've already got it on Royal Caribbean, so we've got it on there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We're now no longer top.
Okay.
They've introduced a new one.
All right.
So they've now got blue diamond tea. Would you prefer it to be pink diamond tea?
Or not blue diamond tea, yeah?
So it's got some exclusive benefits over and above what the existing diamond level have. And guests can get into that after achieving 25,000 points. However, they're not allowing any status match. The only way to get to them is with the points. And if you've already been status matched, you get diamond already, but your points start at 0. So then you've got a long way to climb to go. But
this is a PR thing.
Some of the new bits that are on there, tell me if you think any of these are any good. They've got the Wi-Fi package for one device. That's what I thought. Priority access to tender boats.
I don't know on tender boats.
Meet and greet with the ship's captain and the senior officers. Some people like that. But it also includes a range of onboard events, including a behind-the-scenes stop.
They might just be you then.
Either might be. A special event with entertainment and a special welcome from the captain. That one, there's every chance you'll be the only person in that one. So it's going to take a while to get up to that. Although I would guess if people are already at that point, still to being in that membership. Milestone reward, give priority line for changing your preferred dining time, birthday cakes, special gifts, bathrobes, complimentary spa for an hour, and 1 free Formula 1 simulator credit.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Calling me impressed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because when they said they've got this new one, I went, oh wow, what's this new level going to be? What's it? And I'd say there's been nothing on there that absolutely. Now, if you go onto the site, and I've had a look at it properly, there's about 30 different things in, but most of them are variants of what you already get.
Where's my champagne breakfast?
No champagne breakfast. Would you like to know how many nights you're going to have to do to get to that level? So, depending on whether you like a lot of it, if you're going suites, you get no points.
Yeah.
But if you did 7 nights in Yacht Club, that would get you around 1,000 points.
Okay.
If you did 7 nights in Bella, that'd get you 500 points. So it's roughly about half that.
Yeah.
So that would mean you have to do 25 Yacht Club cruises of 7 nights on, or 50 Bella cruises to get to that. I think it's good for those that are already there, but it's not one that I've gone, oh, wow.
No.
I think there are better loyalty ones than that.
Okay, me too.
Final news story. And it's time for Linzi's back.
Oh, then we'll have to put it on.
News story number 3. Villa v Odyssey.
Oh, is that the one?
That's the one that's on a permanent, going around the world for 3.5, 4 years, whatever it is. So there's been a lot in the news of this over recent because it was delayed. It's now so.
Yeah.
However, except for it's not full. They talked about that quite a lot. But they're introducing some new things to attract more residents.
Oh, I've actually heard this.
So, let's see if you heard the same. So, they're attempting to fill the space by offering new flexible cruise options for residential cruises without permanent commitment. Now you might just go, "Why is that not just a cruise?"
Yeah.
But no. So it's the new Total V program, which seems to be more with the timeshare, but with a lot more freedom. And it allows cruisers to board the ship at any time along its ongoing multi-year journey to 140 countries, 425 ports. The guests can select a 1, 2, 3, or 4-year option in ocean view villas. It's not balconies.
No.
Rates start at $49,999 per person for double occupancy.
Nice.
So 100,000, or 79,999 for single occupancy. That's for a 1-year membership. While the 4-year one is 160,000 or 256,000, depending whether it's single or double occupancy. Now, what's interesting is the prices are heavily discounted from the original year-round one.
I bet you love that if you
Which were originally $99,999 for a villa and then a monthly fee.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's even a try before you buy option where people can go for a 7-day stay for $2,000 for double occupancy or $999 for single. So they're literally charging single day after we just talked about solo. And it includes all the usual things like accommodation, meals, activities, fitness. Don't include drinks.
No.
Does that tempt you anymore to try?
Even though money is no object to me now. No.
You won't be tempted just to try it on the 7-day one? No?
No. No. No.
It's interesting that they've decided that they needed to sort of change it so soon.
Yeah.
But they obviously have. Well, there's plenty of sort of people making YouTube videos on there, so I will occasionally pop in and see what people are saying and doing.
Yeah.
It's nice to finally get off and going and see what happens in the future. That brings us to the end of the cruise cast.
Oh, cheers, darling.
Cheers.
I'm sorry, guys. I've had such a thing. I'm off for a therapy bath.
Therapy bath. Well,
thank you for listening.
And the show plays out with a little bit of music.